Hi guys, and welcome to Biological Sciences for Year 10. This is Activity 7, where we're going to be looking at incomplete dominance. Okay, now previously in the other activities we've worked on the idea that certain alleles have certain strengths. They're either dominant or recessive, and what tends to happen is one will dominate over another so that its trait basically comes through in the phenotype, in the physical characteristics. Now in this activity we're going to look at what happens when we have two different alleles that come together, but their dominance over each other is exactly the same. So in this situation we've got a case where what happens is you've got one dominant allele which meets another dominant allele, and what they do is they mix together to produce a totally different allele which comes out. Now no one allele is more dominant than another. So, and a good example of this is in roan cattle. Now roan cattle is basically made up by red cows which then mate with white cows, and the red and the white allele basically are both dominant. They're both equally dominant, and what is then produced is a mixture of the red and white, and you get this maroon coloration which forms on these cows. So let's look at the genetic cross that we've got in the example we've got here. So we've got a red cow which basically is is homozygous dominant for red, so it's got big R, big R. Now in this case it then mates with a white homozygous dominant cow, so it's WW. Now the result is that when we put our red cow, which then mates with our white cow, the result is that we are going to get all of the offspring going to be heterozygous. Now heterozygous basically meaning we've got a mixture of the two different alleles. So we're going to get a capital R linking with a capital W. Now you may say to yourself, well, why didn't we put a capital R with a little r? The reason being here is that both the alleles are both dominant. So the result is that you get one dominant meeting another dominant, and the result is that when we cross them to produce this heterozygous individual, it's going to be a roan colour, or this maroon sort of cow. So basically all you've got to understand is when we're talking about incomplete dominance, one allele has no dominance over another, and what they do is they meld together, and the trait is a mixture between the two different types of alleles, so you get this colouring. So it's almost like red and white, putting them together you end up with pink. So no one will dominate over another. Well, I hope you find that useful, and it sort of clears up that issue with respect to what happens if, and this will also sort of help, I suppose, in an evolutionary sense as to why we get a variety of different shades which are produced, and it could be down to this incomplete dominance which comes through. But basically at this level, all you need to understand is that no one gene or no one allele is completely dominant over another, and the result is that they produce a mixture. If you are having this in an assessment, you would be told that this occurs. So as a result, you'd be able to work out, oh well, if I put this and this, when I get a heterozygous, we're going to get that mixing. Otherwise, it's going to be either red or it's going to be white. I think another good example are things like tortoiseshell cats, which have a certain, are as a result of incomplete dominance. So, okay. We have, I've put together an exercise, Activity 7B, which will just give you an opportunity to sort of work out what the probability is of getting something along the lines which is going to be roan. And yeah, you basically work out as you go through some genetic crosses what's the probability of getting incomplete dominance occurring and coming out. So have a go at that, see how you go. If you find it confused, don't forget to ask in class. This is just to recap and help with your understanding. Thank you for watching.